Have you?
Have I smoked?
Yes.
Yeah. My first experience was very similar to yours, where I had a friend come over, and he brought like a bunch of brownies, and I had never really done it before. And we both worked at Best Buy, and we had a midnight launch for Gears of War. Man, which one was it? It was I think it was Gears of War 2. Yeah, I think it was 2. Because I remember the trailers for it were playing in my department. So we had to go to this midnight release. So my friend had one before we left. So he was like, he was super fucked up while we're doing this midnight release for Gears of War 2. And then afterwards, I had like a 3-day weekend, or like 3 days off in a row.
Really?
And we came back and I had like 1 or 2 of them. I didn't really feel anything yet. I think I had like 1 or whatever I had. But I wasn't feeling it yet. We were playing some games and some other shit. Then I was like, oh, I'll have another one. And I had like 3 or something, but they just hadn't hit my system yet.
Yeah.
And then I was sitting there and we were playing games, and then just like all of a sudden it hit me like all at once. I was like, it just like what, like bam! It fucking like a wave hit me, and I was like, oh, yeah. Like I was powering up, and I was just like being like a wave of fucking like sensation waved over my fucking body. And when I describe it, my friends are like, dude, I think your friend had something more than weed in those. I don't know. There might have been some other shit in there, but because I've never been that fucked up ever. Like that shit fucked me up, and it was so bad because and then I did that whole shit where I was like, am I gonna die? Like we're sitting there, he's like, dude, let's watch some anime, and like we watched Summer Wars. And I fucking love that shit, but I was like, it was so good, and these waves of sensation kept on going over my body, and I was like, am I gonna die? And he's like, nah, man, you're not gonna die, you're fine. I was like, alright. And then I passed out, and then, and I just like went to bed, right? And then and I guess like a few hours later, or like I had passed out, and my friend wakes me and was like, dude, I gotta go to work, you gotta drive me. I was like, dude, I can't drive. Like I was still fucked up. And yeah. I was like, and he was like, God. So then he had to like, and he was still a little high too, and he like walked because he was trying to get a bus or something. I think he was walking to the bus stop. I can't remember if he got to work or not. Yeah. But then, so I went back to sleep, woke up, and then I had some like, I think it was my birthday not too long ago because there was some birthday cake. So I went in there and tore up the birthday cake, and I was like, yo, leftover birthday cake. This is the fucking best. And then I went back to sleep. Janelle came in, she's like, hey, wake up. And I was like, what? And she was like, something. It's like, you're still sleeping? And I was like, yeah, I'm still sleeping. And then like, no time had passed, right? So like, I'm telling you this, and it sounds like it's all happening in the same moment, but she shook to wake me up. And then she shook me again. And I was like, what? And she's like, you're still sleeping? And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I left and came back. It's the next day. You have work in like an hour. And I said, what? And she's like, yeah, you've been asleep for 3 days. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, no way. She's like, yeah, I left. I thought you just shook me from like the time she shook me from yesterday. And then she shook me the next day. It felt like a second. No time had gone by.
What in the fuck were you on, dude?
I don't know, dude. But like, if that was seriously was weed, I don't think it's ever hit me like that again.
I've never heard of any type of story like that of where you would get hit and be knocked out for that long for 3 days.
I think it might have been 4 days. It might have been 3 or 4. I can't remember if it was a 3-day weekend or a 4 days off from work. But I remember waking up and go, well, fuck my 4 days. I was gonna play video games and do all kinds of other shit. And I was like, yeah, dude. And she was scared. She was like, oh my God, are you, like, obviously, like, rightfully so, because she had left the apartment, gone home, done whatever, gone to sleep, and then came back to check on me before, like, an hour before work. If she hadn't showed up, I would have missed work.
First of all, bro, I didn't even know you were a fucking smoker, or you were a smoker at that point. I never would have guessed.
That was like in 2000. Whenever Gears of War 2 came out.
2000, a long time ago. How about that?
If you want to check the timeline of my life, it's always going to be based on release dates and what games were out. Like that's how I judge like when things were going on. It's like, what year was fucking Gears of War 2 relevant? I think it might have been 2010 or 2009 or some shit. Might have been 10 years ago.
That's fucking hilarious, dude. I'm glad. I'm glad you're not doing that shit again. Because my God.
Yeah, I'm not really a big smoker. It's just I don't know, man. I'm already dumb enough. You know what I mean? I don't need to break that shit down anymore. I might actually forget to breathe.